I guess on my hair, she look alright. And with that actually sitting there like this creams, and I had to have them, sis. All 5 of them. Here, I just had, we're gonna discontinue it, but I had to pick up their book of shadows, honey. Color grade makes cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Wow, so serious. Alright you guys, let's go ahead and get straight into this video. In case you didn't know, my name is Torrence. Welcome back to the channel if you already have been subscribed. If you haven't been subscribed or never been here before, I want to say welcome to the channel. But baby, let me tell y'all, it took everything to get this video done because I was supposed to record yesterday, wasn't feeling well, woke up today, still wasn't feeling good, and it's hot time. I did this look here in about 5 minutes. Because anything that wasn't done after that, I'm like, no, I'm already starting to sweat, time to go. But I wanted to make sure that I kept content coming for you all. And a video that I did over a year ago, I'll make sure I leave that link right here above, was a video based on if I could only keep 10 palettes. And when I initially did that video, all I kept thinking about is what would you do for YouTube and things like that. And then I had to think about it. Although YouTube is nice and very important in my life, I got to be happy with the makeup I use and wear outside of YouTube as well. And when I went over my top 10 list, I realized the same 10 I had from back then ain't the same 10 I got now. So if you all want to know which 10 I would keep on my list and how it has changed from the previous video, just go ahead and continue to watch. And then just in case you did not know, this video was created by Annette Loves Makeup. I'll make sure I leave her video linked right here above as well as in the description bar. Today is going to be an unedited video, so I'm trying to watch my mouth and speak a little slow so I don't cuss. But you know, I can't promise y'all nothing. So because I want to hurry up, if y'all want a tutorial on this quick 5-minute look, also leave me a comment down below and we can get that going. But enough talking because I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm irritable, and y'all tired of me talking. So let's get into it. First palette I had to pick. I had to remind myself, if nothing else, Torrence, your favorite eyeshadow color is green. Point blank period, matte or shimmery. So I needed something that was dedicated directly to that. I needed one palette that would give me a complete look and give me nothing but greens. So we're bringing back the Give Me Glow Cosmetics Juicy Olive palette. Honey, when I tell you, every time I just see it, every time I just think about it, every time I hear about it, it's nothing but love. Like, look at these green shades, honey, and when I tell you, it's never been a bad look. And like, okay, you know what? We're gonna get our fingers dirty today just because we ain't doing nothing else. Since we was lazy with the makeup, we can go ahead and give y'all a few swatches. When I tell you, this palette here has some beautiful and amazing shadows. Like, look at the colors. Come on, honey. Are you kidding me? When I first got this palette, I was using it left and right, night and day, all day, every day. And I had to eventually put it down and remind myself that, Torrence, you got other things in your collection. But if you're going to leave me with only 10, I need to make sure, if nothing else, I can get that one going. So I'm like, baby, got my greens. You need something else that can still help you get a full look, but it needs to be different from everything else in your collection. You don't want to just pick a warm neutral palette because you got a bunch of those that can all be recreated. What is something where you go specifically for this palette because you can get it nowhere else? Easy. Number 2 for me, a discontinued palette, but I love it so much. I think I even have a video of this one because I used it for my birthday last year. I'll leave that link right here. Number 2, we got the Makeup Geek and Manny MUA palette. Absolutely stunning palette. When I tell you, she a basic neutral, what a pop of, and that pop is what does it. This palette here, that blue brown, is my absolute favorite blue brown of life. I think in second place, the only one that comes close is my loose pigment from MAC, and it's called Blue Brown. And I believe this pigment is what inspired that one. But she absolutely fabulous, honey. I've worn this to more nightclubs than any other palette that I could think of, because back in the day, these two shades, I ran them up all day, every day. And I want to show y'all like just how beautiful these shimmers are in this palette, because that's what get it for me. Makeup Geek got some amazing, amazing mattes. But the shimmers, especially this blue brown pigment, is what does it for me. And when I tell you, I want to make sure y'all can see this, because I don't know how these swatches going to show up for y'all compared to for me. But baby, look at that. I don't even know if that's going to show up right for y'all, but we just having fun. And you can see this shade here, the way she shifts in the light, honey. That is the worst swatch ever. But I just wanted to make sure I showed y'all the reason why I wanted this. Whether I want something for my inner corner highlight, whether I want something neutral for every day, or a pop of color for a fun day, I know for sure this one color is going to come in handy for me. I've done this for people for their birthday parties and everything, and they've loved it. So at number 2, I'm like, oh yeah, got to have that, because if I don't have that blue brown pigment in my arsenal, what's the point of having makeup? What's the point of having makeup if I love duochromes and you take my favorite one away from me? That's just not even right. But then I'm sitting back like, okay, Torrence, you done already picked 2 palettes. Nah, you only got 8 left. You need to start thinking about variety, because these are some smaller palettes and they give you very specific things, but you need some palettes that goes across the board and help you create some stuff. So for number 3, an old favorite, I put this in a previous video here, the Viseart Grande Pro 1. Now let me tell you, honey, mattes are essential to me. And the eyeshadow look, they are essential. And my favorite matte formula in eyeshadows is Viseart. I don't think it gets no better than this. And when I look at the variety of this, and I tell myself, Torrence, think of a warm neutral look. You see it right there. Think of a cool neutral look right there. How about a pop of color? Nah, that's what they get me, because the pop of colors we see is some purples and pinks. So I'm like, okay, Torrence, you perfect for every day, but you ain't gonna, fulfill that colorful lover in you. So we're gonna need some more stuff. But for this, my favorite and largest Viseart palette, I had to have it. It has a matte white, it has a matte black, has deepening shades, and let me go ahead and get y'all some swatches of those deepening shades, honey. When I tell you, you can take any of these other shades and add a little extra pigment pop to it, baby. Viseart does not play with them, and I'm trying to make sure I can find a good, pretty spot for y'all to see these shadows, because honey, look at this. And those are the colors for your neutrals, honey. For your neutrals, honey. Like, oh. And I know for sure, I bought this palette, I think, back in 2018, and look how creamy and buttery those shades still look. We already know blue is difficult, but it's creamy all the way to the end. It's just I have a hard time swatching with that pinky. But baby, tell me that ain't pigment. That ain't gonna be blendable. I had to add it. I had to add it. I'm sitting here just looking like, baby, I want to go ahead and put some eyeshadow on now. But if for any reason I were to, more than likely, I will go back to my holy grail, my favorite eyeshadow palette, and I'm so upset. It's a pretty good chance they may discontinue this bad boy, because they've already reformulated and redid number 1, and now you can't find number 2 and 3 on the website. But right here for number 4, we got the Viseart Grande Pro 4. Honey, look at her. She's so beautiful. I did this custom Ursula palette for her. When I tell you, I love Ursula memorabilia. Got Ursula on the back, honey. Got Ursula on the inside, because I just knew that I was going to love this palette. And she turned out to be better than anything I could have ever thought of. And now I'm sitting here looking at it like, ooh, baby, I was supposed to get y'all some swatches but didn't clean these fingers off. let's hurry up and do that because you know I got to show y'all some swatches in here. When I tell you, my holy grail favorite eyeshadow palette of all time. First off, let me just show you why. Considering greens are my favorites, greens is my favorite. Look at this. You already gave us purples and pinks in this first one, so then you came back and gave us yellows, oranges, reds, greens, and blues to help fill out the rainbow. No repeat shades from this first palette? Honey, imagine adding all these extra greens to that Juicy Olive palette. It does something to me. Like I got to swatch a few of these just so y'all can see how rich, how buttery, how beautiful these shades are. Look at this, honey. Watch this. I got to find me a good spot on this arm. Look at those. Look at that. Honey, when I tell you, I know those bottom two might not have swatched the best, but I promise you, it ain't a dud in this palette. It ain't a dud in this palette. She beautiful, she pigmented, she blendable, she lasts all day. The only thing to me that could have made this bad boy perfect is if they would have possibly added that white and black. But considering the fact he was already in the first one, we're not gonna get mad. But when I tell you, every time I've ever pulled this palette out, before I could even get finished with what I was doing, I was already excited. I've never gone into this palette and thought to myself, I wonder if I'm like this, or I hope this formula work with. No, honey. Viseart's amazing. That's my favorite palette, and if you don't work with it, it's just that you don't work, honey, because that palette there is perfect in my eyes. I absolutely love it. But then I had to sit back and think about it and go, okay, Torrence, we done picked out 4 palettes. We down to 6. You got 2 palettes for all-in-one. You got 2 palettes that's all mattes. You're not the type of person who go around with just all matte shadows. Although mattes help build and set up the look, it's that sparkle right there on the lid that get it going. And if don't nobody make a beautiful sparkle shadow, my favorite shimmers come from Pat McGrath. So the palette I chose to go with her for number 5, we got right here, the Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity. Honey, this was a holiday palette, and although those motherships, honey, chef's kiss. They are the creme de la creme of the makeup world as far as packaging and formula go. But right here, Pat McGrath decided she was going to do something sneaky and freaky on us, honey, and slide us 18 shadows. She ain't never put this many in one palette, and the makeup world loved it, honey. Although at first you looked at this packaging as a downgrade, it wasn't until you saw all these shadows and you went, the color variety, amazing. The formula, amazing. The color story. Like, when you first look at it, all you keep going is like, wait, that looked like a bunch of topper shades, this. If you like Pat McGrath, you might be like me. You don't mind putting a shimmer in the crease. I promise you. She released this side here as one palette. This side here is one palette. You can use them individually and come up with a beautiful look. I promise you. Just get it and give it a try. I promise you it'll work. But when I look at some of these shades and I just think, Torrence, you wanted some of these dual chrome shades. You wanted some of these pop of colors. You wanted some of these neutrals to make sure on an everyday you could get it going. And with this palette, I'm not bothered. I'm not worried. I want to see if I can find somewhere else on this arm. See if I can show y'all some of these swatches. Like, look at that. Look at the way Pat McGrath shines on them. Do you see why she make my favorite shimmers? Look at that. So when I put this in my list, I was like, oh yeah, Torrence, we gonna be happy with that. We gonna be able to use that. We gonna be able to go ahead and get some shimmers going. But I'm like, okay, now, Torrence, you done used up 5 of them. What else can you add to your collection? Because now it's all about just building. You got all the match you need with the Viseart Grande Pro 1 and 2. Now it's just about what else can we add to it to help, you know, define the look and, you know, give me things that I don't have already. Then I realized I like transformer shades. I'm somebody who will do a green smoky eye with a green brow bone highlight, a green inner eye corner thing, and all those shadows might not work. If I already got them on the lid, I'm gonna want something else on the inner corner. So for transformer shades, we got the KVD Vegan Beauty Alchemist palette. She might be sold out, I believe, on the website right now, but plenty of places still have it, and I'm telling you, this is a backup of mine, because this one here is the one I keep on the shelf. This one here is the one that I keep with me and use. I depotted that first one, baby, and keep her right in here. Because when I travel, I need these shades with me. It ain't nothing but these four. This is just a single blush that I depotted as well. I couldn't find nowhere else to put her, so I put her in here and forgot that she was honestly in there until I opened this back up. But I'm telling you, with this Alchemist palette, honey, if you do a pink, a blue, a purple, or a green look, these little bitty shadows are perfect for a highlighter. They're perfect for an inner eye corner. They're perfect for a topper. What you want to do is just put your shades in there, and then you're just going to go with these, and you're going to swipe right with them. They look white when you get them at first, but then they come in, and they just beam up. And you see, I promise you, because I picked up a lot, you can see that little chunk right there sort of looks white, but once you swatch them, a color does come through. And what I want to see is, let me grab that purple swatch again on this middle finger and show y'all. You see this Pat McGrath shadow right here is already purple. If I were to take that KVD topper shade over the second half of it, see how I turned that shade just slightly to a slight duochrome when you look at it now. It's coming down over here. You can see where there's none here and how it comes and create this new color. Baby, that's what I love it for. I'm telling you, she's absolutely amazing, absolutely beautiful. And I'm like, I don't have anything else quite like it besides, I think my Pat McGrath palette has that, but that only has 3 shades. And then I kept thinking to myself, like, that's only 3 and the Kat Von D got 4. So you know what? You already got a Pat McGrath palette. You're going to have to put her to the side and come back. And you know what? I ain't mad about it. She just going to have to hold on. We trying to put together for 10. That's all we got. So now I'm sitting back looking like, okay, number 7. What else can we do, Torrence? You got all of these mattes. You're not really worried about no other matte color. You're worried about texture and colors. And then when I realized the Juicy Olive only has greens, the Pat McGrath has more like transformer duochrome shades. I need just some solid jewel tones. Who makes really good, deep, vibrant jewel tone basic colors? Juvia's Place. Remember the very first video I did, and if you don't remember, you can check that video out right here. And I used the Masquerade Mini palette. One of my all-time favorites, and this was back in the day when they used to do those larger 16-pan palettes. And let me tell you, honey, look at the jewel tones in this bad boy. Whether I want a purple, a blue, a green, a pink, or just a basic neutral. Because the top half is colorful, but the bottom half is neutral. But what I come in here for is those up there. I don't really wear blue, but if I need a pop of blue, this is one of the most used ones I have. If I just need a pop of green, even though I already got greens, she got me covered. I get most compliments whenever I wear purple eyeshadow. Guess who got more than one type of purple in here? So let me go ahead and give y'all, some swatches of this, because let me tell you, baby, you ain't seen jewel tone, colorful shades until you got some from Juvia's Place, because baby, they don't play with the pigmentation. They make colors for people of color. I want to see if I can find another spot on this arm, because baby, we got to try to get y'all some of these swatches seen, because look at this. Boom. 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 Look at that. No primer, one swatch. Look at Juvia's Place come through. Tell me I'm not going to be okay with these basic jewels. So I didn't want nothing with a transformer. Everybody might not be for that. Some days I might just want a purple. I don't want it to shift and move all over the place. This going to get it for me. I absolutely love that palette. I love Juvia's Place, first off. Let's just get that out there. That's why they were my very first video on YouTube. But that particular palette has always held a special place in my heart. Even though the Tribe is my favorite because of greens, it's something about the color variety in that one that just always makes me go, yeah, it's going to be a good day in makeup. Now we down to the last three. And I had to already remind myself, I'm all off, off center and stuff. But I kept looking and I'm like, okay, Torrence, you already told yourself you're not worried about mattes. We're trying to figure out colors. And I was looking like greens, duochromes, jewel tones. Where's your neutrals? You spent all this time going after all these colors, you forget. On days where you got weddings, job interviews, doctor's appointments, you don't want to be going in with a vibrant purple, green, blue. No, you need some neutrals. And because I generally prefer cool tone neutrals, I knew I had to get a palette of that. So we had to bring in the old favorite, discontinued but brought back again, sultry palette from ABH. Honey, when you first look at this, you automatically think, okay, this is going to be a big textured, romantic palette. Right. She got some texture, but all that glitter you see on the outside don't translate on the inside. Don't be scared of her. She a cool neutral palette. She might look basic to you, but to me, she looking amazing. The fact that I got a nice pinky shade, I got a silver, I got some bronzy tones, it's like, I'm good. All I needed was cool neutrals. The fact that you gave me an extra black and a gray and all of that, I had to match. I came in here for the shimmers, honey. And when I tell you, they don't disappoint. Like, look, rose quartz. Oh my goodness, honey. Y'all just don't understand how beautiful some of these shades are. Like, The worst part about trying to get swatches with people though is, honey, when you got nails this long, trying to get your fingers into them little pans, ain't no fun. So let me show y'all. This is the ABA shadows. Let's see what we can get going here. Look at those. Nice, beautiful, cool tone neutrals. And you can tell they look nothing like the other shades that I've been swatching. Yes, they're neutral, but because they're cool tone, they won't sit with the rest of most of my neutrals, because most of them are warm tones, because that's what tends to sell the most. But I had to have a cool tone option just to be able to switch it up and keep to myself. Because baby, if I'd have been stuck with just warm tones, which I had to think about it, you may not prefer warm tones, but that is what the general public likes. And if for any reason you get back to freelancing, a makeup kit not complete without them. You got to have them. And I'm looking like, okay, it might be a few in the Juvia's Place, it might be a few in the Pat McGrath and all of that, but you need some where you can find your own basic warm neutrals, and you need some other textures, because I also realized, Torrence, you ain't picked up a single glitter yet. I don't care what nobody else like, but I love glitters. So where is the palette where you can find glitters and texture? Number 9. The Tati Beauty Texture Neutrals Volume 1. Got a video on this one. If you want to see that, check her out right here. But when I tell you, this palette has a huge mirror and a huge variety of color selection. Look at this. Mattes with floating glitters, metallics, and glitters. If I want a basic brown, have a light and a dark one. Cream and an orange. And a black. For mattes, basically a satin because it's a matte with floating glitters, metallic and glitters. But it's the glitters I wanted to go for, because baby, what you wasn't going to do is tell me I got to go the rest of the year or the rest of my life and only get 10 palettes and can't have no glitters. And when they say these are self-adherent, honey, I'm like, don't play with me. I want to show y'all these 4 glitters right here. Look at that. Baby. A lot of people don't like glitter, but do you see the way that is going on over no primer, with one swatch? Do you see the foiliness and the color? Let me see if I can slide over and get him in center screen. Do you see that, sis? I just couldn't. I had to have it. I had to have it. There is no way I'm going the rest of my life with only 10 palettes and I'm not going to have no glitters. I don't care about it not being eye safe. I don't care about all of that, honey. I'm going to take the risk. I got acne and I risk makeup when I test the new foundation, honey. So we going to risk it. We got to have some glitters. And then I thought about it. One last palette, Torrence. Number 10. What could it possibly be? What is it that you don't have in your collection? When you look at these 9, if somebody were to come up to you and say, hey, I bet you couldn't recreate this look, what is it that you could not do with all of this? And the only thing I thought of left was colorful glitters. We got a bunch of neutral glitters. We got matte and shimmer in every option. We got duochromes. We got jewel tones. We got neutrals and warm and cool. The only thing I don't have is some over-the-top out there glitters. Like these are basic neutrals that I can get the everyday woman to wear. Where's my greens, my purples, my 2-3 colors? Lit Cosmetics Night Moves palette. I know I don't see too many tutorials on it, and I promise y'all later on this week I will be doing one on this because I love this palette. I love this palette. When I tell you, honey, it is hard to find just a basic glitter palette that I love, or don't know, a basic glitter palette that I don't love, because to me it's hard to mess up glitters. But out of all of them that I've ever had in my life, this one has easily come in and taken my heart the fastest. Like, do you all see the way that that shines in the light? Imagine this across the eyes, honey. Like, which ones do I want to show y'all? You know, greens is my favorite, so I got to show y'all those. Let me go ahead and grab a few of those just so y'all can see those. And blue is another top favorite, and then we'll grab this one here. When I tell y'all, sis, y'all ain't ready. I'm gonna have to put these here because I don't even think this is gonna show. Look at this. Look at that, sis. Every single time I've come into this palette, I have been more than satisfied. More than satisfied. And when you look at the way those jewel tones come across, because that's I love a good jewel tone. Greens are my favorites, but rubies, amethyst, sapphires, emeralds, things like that, they just do it for me. And when you see the way that these shimmers catch the light, it's like, Torrence, how could you be without them? It's taking everything not to just grab one of those and swap it right across the aisle, but I'm like, Torrence, one, you about to go to bed. I already know that, so ain't no point in planning this, but I promise y'all, when I just sit back and look at this arm, let me come back over here just so y'all can get a good view of her. And I just think of all of the different memories I could create with this bad boy here. It's just like, how could I not love her? And it's just crazy to think that these aren't the same 10 that I picked last year, but most of these palettes have been in my collection since then, and I'm loving them. So I think I might make this video idea something that I do every single year because this was absolutely fun. What probably ain't gonna be fun is trying my hardest to get to the bathroom and wash this off, but we're gonna do that anyway. And the hiccups is kicking my butt right now. So I hope you all truly did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I try to upload 3 times a week. What else do we want to make sure? Oh, also, if you all have any videos that you want to see me do, make sure you leave that comment down below. Do not forget, I'm also trying to keep up with my Juvia's Place tutorials. I have every single Juvia's Place palette, so I'm going to be trying to get those out for you all. I think the next one I want to do is either going to be a 6-pan or 9-pan, so let me know which one you want to be next. Don't forget to also check out for this Lit Cosmetics palette because it will be coming by the end of the week. Not sure what my other video is going to be, but we always got time to come up with ideas. So with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.